This is Eat, Sleep, Invest, the marketing podcast for real estate investors to get more deals. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Eat, Sleep, and Invest. I'm your host, Bryan Driscoll. I'm here with Kris Haskins. What's going on, Kris?
What up, homie?
Hey, same old. How's it going?
Man, it's a beautiful day here. It's like 90 degrees, sunny. I'm just so thankful that we made it through the winter and we're getting to the spring and getting back to people moving around again.
Yeah, it's a home stretch now. Same up here in Pittsburgh. It's just starting to be nice. So it's a good time of year.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Kris, for people that don't know you, give us a little background. Give us an intro, like what kind of things you're in, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, Bryan, first of all, thank you for having me on. It is an honor to hang out with you, my friend.
Thanks, man. Glad you're here.
Yep. So I am Kris Haskins, and my mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. It wasn't always that way. If you would ask me maybe, 10 years ago, my mission might have been to party and drinking and doing all that crazy stuff. As we grow and get older, we learn that some things we do as a younger, not necessarily the most productive stuff we need to be doing in our lives. So I was in the music business back in the early 2000s, had a couple hit records, and eventually went broke, made all this money, just hundreds of thousands of dollars with publishing. And then I ended up with $80 in my pocket, sleeping on my friend's couch in 2002. And I figured I might need to learn how money works. So after that, I remember that day like it was yesterday. Like, Kris, how'd you go from six figures to $80? Really did feel sobering. So I started reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the like. Found out I needed to get some education in my brain. So started to go to real estate in 2003, 2004. Lost a bunch of houses in 08, 09, 10. Found out how to do it the right way in 2011. And now here we are years later teaching other people how to do it the right way. So I'm honored.
That's cool, man. That's quite a story too. And yeah, anyone listening too, anyone that's succeeding now, a lot of the people have the stories behind. They kept persisting when it got punched in the face. Like going from hundreds of thousands of dollars to $80 living on your friend's couch. I mean, that's a turning point in your life. It's like, what am I going to do? You know, like, do I give up or do this? And it depends on the decisions you make, what you go. And if you keep pushing, eventually you're going to hit something.
Yeah, I just think it starts here, man. I feel like, even when like Jim Rohn said, if you make $1 million, best you become a millionaire. Some people think that just having the money, at this stage of my life, the money is so irrelevant. It's all about what you know, because you can print it at any time,
That's so true too. That's funny. I was just listening to Jim Rohn last week. I heard him saying that.
Yeah, best you become a millionaire.
And that's true, just because, you see that a lot with lottery people that hit the lottery.
Same thing.
If you don't know how to live, budget, and turn that money into more money, it's just going to disappear.
It disappears. It did for me.
Right. Same with me. Same thing. I had money, went away. Then you learn how to keep it, invest it, and make it grow.
Well, my mentor told me that, Kris, earning money is offense, managing it is defense. No one wins the game without a defense.
That's a good analogy there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. So in the real estate space now, so you say doing real estate the right way. What do you mean?
Well, you can do it the wrong way, like I did, going out there, signing for a bunch of debt, buying houses at market value, paying full price for stuff, getting tenants in your properties that don't pay, paying contractors all the money up front to do repairs. All that stuff, in my opinion, is the wrong way. Maybe, Bryan, you just never lived that lifestyle.
Well, I think there's a lot of different ways to invest in real estate, and you're right. So you're saying the right way, or what are you talking about on that one? Are you talking about like sub 2 deals, or like the people just getting into it and the people that are successful? Like, what are the strategies you're using?
Yeah. Okay. So if you're just getting started, so what I just told you was, from my perspective, the wrong way, right? Paying full market, all that.
Well, no one wants, full market's out the window. I mean, some people do that, but it's not.
You don't know.
True.
I was out there 2004, 5. I'm buying real estate. Everybody's looking at me like, Kris, go. I'm like, I'm doing it. 3 years later, my payments, $1,100, rents, $1,000. I'm losing. Because did you know, Bryan, the strategy in 2004 was buy a house today, hold it for a year, buy a house full price on the market with a realtor, hold it for a year and resell it on the market and make $20,000.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Were you around
there? Loan on anything.
Yeah, So stupid. So now I look back, I'm like, that was the wrong way. So now we don't guarantee debt if we can help it. We never put houses in our name. Neither do we put them in our LLC's name. We very rarely even put a down payment. We don't even use our credits. I haven't turned my tax returns in since 2011. I mean, all that stuff just kind of can learn how to do it just different ways.
Yeah, cool. So give it now. Well, first, what's your portfolio look like? What kind of things are you doing? You doing flips? I know you're doing some Airbnb stuff. Like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, what kind of stuff you got going on?
So we have several Airbnbs. I forgot about those. Damn, Brian. I do have those. I mean, it's so hands off because it's just, I look at the bank and it just, it's just direct deposit in the bank. Airbnb, my long-term rentals aren't what most people think that they look like. We do lease options where the tenant is responsible for all the repairs. If anything breaks, don't call us. Toilet leaks, don't call me. They give us a down payment. They do direct deposit into the bank every month. So those are the majority of my long-term holds. And I do Section 8, where the government pays the majority of the rent. So those are my Section 8. Those are my babies. I love my Section 8 tenants too.
Okay, cool. So say on a lease option, that's different than what a lot of people do. So are you saying that you go out, find a property, lock it up, and then you give a lease option to somebody else that's in turn stating they're going to buy it, and they give you a $5,000 down or a big down payment, and then they're assuming all the repairs because it's technically in their eyes their house that they're just paying, and they have to get a mortgage or something and buy you out at some point.
At some point, or we'll hold it forever. I don't care. I mean, as long as they make the monthly payment, they can stay. But we buy them, and the next day or even the day of, we'll just, like I'm doing one now, we'll buy it. It's just amazing how real estate, it's like magic. I'm buying it for 40, selling it for 65, getting a $6,000 down payment, monthly payment. So they're going to pay us for 3 or 4 years, and it's just so cool. Yeah, but we'd sell it the same day.
Yeah, and an interesting thing on that too is if they decide not to pay you, you can do it again.
Oh, such a terrible day, Brian. I got to go out there, collect another down payment. God,
right. Yeah. So
rough.
Hey, when you're doing those, do you do like what kind of pre-screening do you do on people?
The main thing is cash. Now, I will say that. You know that already. But the main other thing is you got to have some verifiable income. I don't want to deal with the dope boys. I'd rather leave them alone. If I can't verify how you're making your money, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's different than like normally if I'm renting a property through property management, we're looking at credit, all that kind of stuff. And with the lease options, that's not as important. No. Yeah, mainly verifying your income, verifying they have the money because they're going to buy this property at some point, hopefully.
Eventually.
Or not. They just keep it and you keep the cash flow coming in.
Yeah. I don't care about credit. That's why my sign says no credit needed. Easy rent to own. And your phone will ring off the hook with those signs.
Yeah. 100%. You know what? I just called a sign on the side of the road. It was up the street from me, just a long shot. It's like seller financed house, like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
Like I called them up. I want to see what they're doing. It's probably it's a 2-bedroom, so it's probably like $150,000 house. They're asking $225,000.
Well,
like one of those deals.
I might not even appraise for that, but the thing is, as long as here's the thing with real estate that I've learned: if it's $1 million asking price, but the payment's $200 a month, I don't care.
Right.
As long as the payment's good, let's roll.
Yep, I hear you. So we're talking about like you were talking about before, and explain to people building your own bank. Like, what are you talking about that? Like on like with the real estate, like building your own bank, pretty much.
Yeah. So you gotta. What happened to me in 2000? When I started in 2004, I was using conventional money, going to the bank, 20% down, closing, all that point. It was cool if you wanted to do 1 or 2 houses here and there. Let's say for $100,000 asking price, or contract price, I'd have to bring 20%. So at that time, $20,000 was a lot of money to bring to one house. So I bring that, go to closing. Oh man, I did it. I got that one house. But then I looked and I'm like, man, my whole business is shut down because I only had access to 20, 30,000. So if I wanted to do another house, I got to go find another 20, 30,000. Because once you buy it, then you have to finance. A lot of people don't know the bank ain't giving you no money to start repairs. You got to pay for those repairs and then they give you the money back, Brian.
Right.
So I learned that the hard way. So as I'm like, you know what, God, what can I do? I need to find out how to get this 20%. So that's what I went on the hunt for, something called private money. That's where we work with ordinary mas and pas to finance our real estate deals. So I found somebody to loan me that 20. So now I got a 20 loan and an 80. I could put that together. And eventually over time, I got people to loan me more and more and more. Now we don't even go to the bank anymore. We just have all of our real estate deals are financed by private individuals. It's really cool.
That's pretty solid. So yeah, and I know you talk about that because you have a course talking about that also, walking people through how to do that, right?
That's right. You best to know how to talk to people because you can't just sit down with somebody and say, "Hey, you want to put up all the money to do the deal, and I'll give you a percentage of the profit or the back end." Bad move. Bad.
100%. Yeah. How do people, if people wanted to get a hold of you on that too, how do they get a hold of you? Where do they sign up for the course?
Yeah, it's at this KrisHaskins.com. I don't have a particular site for that. I'm glad you asked me. I need to put a specific site for that. But this KrisHaskins.com. It's Kris with a K.
All right. Yeah. Kris with a K. It'll be in the show notes, guys, too. So yeah, check that out. Okay. So people are getting into business. I actually started the same way too. I was putting 20% down and it sucked. Because yeah, once you get in there, then your money's gone.
Gone.
And yeah, you can't get it back. So yeah, eventually I just started trying to get more money and buying the properties cash. And I did the burn method. I just buy them, fix them, and pull it out. Similar type of strategy, but I'm still using the bank. Okay. So you're saying you can find people, and you have people that will just do long-term loans with you, private money. So you don't even have to deal with the bank at all.
They'll do long-term, short-term, midterm, whatever you negotiate. See, what I saw, I did a speech earlier this week for Quest IRA, like a custodian. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
It's amazing. I did not know that there was $10 trillion in IRA accounts. Did you know that?
I believe it.
10 trillion sitting in IRA accounts. And all we have to do, I'm just like, just let me access 0.001% of that money. You know, I run my whole business on that. So people have IRA money sitting, getting a lower rate of return. And when you talk to them with the right magic words and you have a prospectus, something you can show them, which comes with my private money training module, something you can show them. I'm telling you, when you show up to a person that you have a 30-page prospectus, you look a little different than the next guy. Somebody trying to borrow money. So when I show up, I'm like, this is how we do it. Flipping through it, showing before and after pictures of my team, construction, APR, different rates of return, all that stuff. When you show them that, what are they going to do? They're like, this guy really has he's taken time to develop his craft. So that's important when you're borrowing money from people.
And that's really true too, because a lot of these people, you're talking about their retirement money. Mm-hmm. They have it sitting somewhere. So if you're asking them for something, that makes you look really professional and really credible versus just being like, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about buying this house down the street. I need $100,000. I'm going to pay you back someday, but I'll give you this. If you have something super professional, it makes them feel comfortable. And also you can show what, how the deal is going to work. Normal people that aren't in real estate don't know. Mm-hmm. So you can visually show them. So, I mean, that's a great huge, point, man. There.
It's huge. If you don't, my life changed when I put this prospectus together, my whole life changed. Sitting in front of people, grandmas and grandpas, because they're all skeptical. They're all skeptical. And my YouTube channel really does help me because they can just hit a button and hang out with me for 1,000 hours if they want to. But when you have that prospectus, man, it just makes you look so credible. And then other people can vouch for you too. You get referrals, and once you start getting money referrals, the game's over. Game over. You don't got to go. Having access to unlimited amount of money to buy whatever you want to buy it's really the gas for the race.
Yeah. What made you think when you were starting to make, like, what triggered you to put the prospectus together?
Well, I got educated. I went to a course. I saw what he was doing. I'm like, you know what? Boom. I went to several of them, but they all had prospectuses. I got them all. So I kind of took what they had, boom, piece them together. So, man, this is what I need right here. So I didn't just create it out of thin air. Yeah, I got educated, spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, that's good. YouTube. Let's talk about that for a second. Anybody who's watching too, Kris has a YouTube channel. It has tons of content, big following on there. Kris, how do they find you on YouTube?
Yeah, just my name all across all channels. Kris with a K, Kris Haskins, Haskins.
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you talking about on the YouTube channel? Because I know you got a ton of videos.
Yeah, it's mostly to stay with my mission for real estate investing and entrepreneurship. I'm going to be getting into a little bit more personal stuff for my community. I had a friend commit suicide recently, so I'm going to be interviewing his mother and just trying to get more stuff for my community that my community that's not out there in the public. But the majority of it is for helping us raise our financial literacy. Financial literacy. I'm tired of seeing grown ass men renting, don't have no portfolio of nothing. Now you might have a 401k. I'm not mad at that. And this is not to say I'm here, you're there. I do consultations. People pay me a lot of money for consultations. And I want to know, why is it that you think that it's okay to be 50, never owned a house? So I need to change that narrative for my people.
Yeah. And that's good too. Cause a lot of people, they don't know. Like when you go to school, they don't teach you any of this stuff. They teach you math, English, geometry, but they don't teach you how to balance checkbooks, anything like that, let alone how to save and grow money.
Manage assets. Yeah, forget. Yeah, checkbook's cool. But my daughter came on. She goes, I had a son recently. She goes, Kris, what if Preston could be on an NFL team? I'm like, we need to shut that down right now. Whoa. We don't do that, NFL. We're gonna own the team. We're owners in this house, so it's just a narrative.
It is, yeah. So now you wrote the Real Estate Negotiating Bible.
Yeah.
What do you got going on in there? Give like the short notes on that.
Well, back in 2004, before this internet thing, how long you been in the game, Bryan?
I got in digital marketing back in 2004. I got into real estate about 8 years ago.
Okay. Golly, you're a baby. Back in 2004. I never forget Googling. I think Google had kind of just real estate.
Google was hot. Yeah, because I was doing the marketing.
Okay. So you were probably caking up back then, right? It was probably way easier than it is now.
You could spam a bunch of links, you rank number one.
Yeah, you remember one. But I remember typing in real estate negotiating or real estate negotiation back then. I remember like it was yesterday. Nothing came up, dude. I'm like, who's going to teach me how to talk to these sellers? Who in the world is this? There was just no products. So I went on this quest, and this is 04, 5, 6, 7, 8. So finally in 2010, I started to do a little coaching from after I talked to 1 million sellers because I wanted to get my game up before I started training. I noticed that people were asking me the same. What do I say when the seller says this? Oh, how do I approach somebody with a sub two? What do I do with lease option, owner financing? If I want to wholesale, buy at a discount. Same questions for people coming in. They would just see me around town. So I'm like, you know what? Let me put this book together so all I have to do is point them. They can hit a button, download it, or order the book. That way it would take you about, the book is 150 pages, take you a few hours to become a master warrior negotiator in real estate. And it's specifically for the investor, not the realtor, So it's for us to go in to be able to craft a win-win situation for homeowners when we're in the home.
Yeah, and that's big too, because I deal with a lot of investors on the other side, and a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, whenever we get the lead, what do we do?
What do we do?
Yeah, it's like they don't know how to. A lot of people call them up and try to find out how much money they want in the first 2 minutes, like different things like that.
The thin line. You got to think about this wavy line. Rapport, business. You got rapport over here, business over here, and you're like bouncing back and forth. You're bouncing back and forth, getting to know them, love, personal stuff. Boom, business, numbers, time, all that. So you got to make sure you're weaving and bobbing and weaving. If you stay here too long, rapport, you just got a friend. If you don't bring them back over here, you can't do the deal. If you stay business too long, they're going to be like, I don't like this guy. So you got to make sure you understand you're going in and out. Very thin line, Bryan.
Yeah, it is too. Yeah, because you're right. You talk to someone too long, you just have a buddy there, and it's like, oh yeah,
nice meeting you.
Never get to it.
Never get to the deal.
Yeah, I gotcha. Now, where can people grab that? Is that Amazon or?
Yeah, Amazon, or that's on my website too at krishaskins.com. But yeah, Amazon is cool. Either one.
Yeah, krishaskins.com. You just go there. You got everything listed out.
Yep.
Yeah, cool, man. So you're telling me you can help people with negotiating, help them find the money.
Yeah.
And you're doing this stuff in your day. It's not like you're just out preaching about something you don't know. You got experience through the school of hard knocks.
Yeah, I would say my experience is more with doing it and messing it up and figuring it out on the way, figuring out what to do since 2010, really.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, it's about all the time we got here, Kris. Is there anything else we missed on the top level?
Well, I just want your viewers to know that you can do this business. My goal for you is not to work your entire life and have nothing to show for it. I don't want you to be on that same trajectory that I was on when I was 28. I was looking around, I made all that money in the music business, and I look back, I'm like, damn, all that money went through my hands and I have nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it. So I want your viewers to know, start today. If it's not with us, with Bryan or whoever, go get educated and take some action buying your next investment property.
Yeah, that's a big point there. Just do it. Just go find out. You'll figure out what to do with the property when you find it.
And you'll mess it up.
Yep.
I did. Don't be scared to mess it up.
It's how you learn. Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, Kris, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, good to see you, Bryan.
You too. Hey, everyone else, thanks for listening, and go out there and crush it and close some deals.